cái apan masa cái chẳng à mo cái dòng hàn chém ta cả hồng đình cái hiểm này na nô dòng hàn chém ta cái na hồng ngay sắc leo trên tu này na bác này na nô tia đi nghe na khát liêm liêm na lạc thấy đi ngủ ông om sắc đi hi tiếng cái nuông minh and when I talk to a lot of Zomi older people, right, like our parents' friends, relatives, and they ask me, Cingno, what are you doing? And when I share them that I'm a high school math teacher, they always say, wow, nasa si chia han chia mo mo lung dam mama hang e jira na hong chia hina tupitak je jira na ma hong encourage. But when I talk to a lot of youth people like us, right, younger, they're like, why? Out of all the possible jobs that you could have, why do you want to become a teacher, right? So I feel like that reactions might be because we all been to schools in the US and we know what kind of institutions we are in, the environment, right? And I was really surprised too, and I always asking back why I actually want to become a teacher. So in order to answer that, I would give you a little bit of my background. So I was actually born in Myanmar in a small village called Khawmpi. And then when I was 9 years old, we moved to Malaysia. And then I came to the United States when I was 14 years old. So when I was growing up in Malaysia, our teacher asked these questions a lot. What do you want to become when you grow up? And we actually go to the same school at Malaysia with Sudpi from Tennessee. So I vividly remember what he actually wanted to become. But all like doctor, nurse, engineering, all the jobs were taken by my friends. So I just really want to go out of the silent, and I always say I want to become a vet. And this question seems a lot easier when we are younger to answer what we want to become because we don't actually have to worry about it to become it actually, right? We can just say something out of our head so that it could end the awkwardness. But when we are older, right, what do you want to become when you older, or what do you want to become when you graduate high school? This question seems a lot harder to answer it, especially if you're in high school, junior, senior, trying to think about what do you actually want to do when you graduate from high school. When I come to the US at the age of 14, it was very difficult for me to adapt to the culture. Even though I go to school in Malaysia, all of our teachers are volunteers. They are not trained teachers. And I have a very difficult time catching up in here. I have to learn English, have to make friends. I am 14, I am shy, right? Even in my church, everyone go up together. And they have their own friends, and it's so hard to be in their group. And a lot of people are older than me. Cùng bà tắm té là tắm lùa xòm thùng qual vì về. Anh éo té là cùng kiệt cùng quá chứ anh hẹn là ấy là xòm để lý chả hầm sa lùa mò. Hẹn là I feel like I have no future. I feel very depressed at that time. But I was really blessed to have a lot of great ESL teachers, and shout out to all the ESL teachers because I feel like they are the teachers that care you more than your academic success. They care you about your life, how you're gonna transition to your new life here in the US. And I was really blessed to have all the teachers that really care about me. So when I was 2015, I got observations. I constantly ask God, what is my purpose? What do you want me to do in my life? Kadun tang na bang sem ding kahiyam bahagi ni tinga om kahiyam to pao chira na dong den mo. And I am really surprised. First of all, I did not ZCA Khawmpi ding kakigel hang pen ken atuchiam tailo mo. But actually I come to this verse Mataya lian go kanel som tum let tum. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all the things will be given to you. Tudang ken peu sangin pasian uk na le ama dek na zu tek na ding u chupi masangai sudzo un to hi le hi na sep na dang te kem peu u zong nakisap na dang te kem pe u zong hung pe chua ve ding hi chi mo zani Dr. Mungin zong tutuk taka hong gen kin tai na. This verse really helped me see that God's plan, God's purpose in our life is not simply a career choice, but to seek his kingdom and to have a relationship with him. And if you are in high school right now, you might be 15, and you got these questions, what do you want to become when you grow up? And all your friend has some answers, and you don't have an answer yet, and that's okay. And I want you to remember that God's wills, God's purpose in your life is not simply a career choice, but to have a good relationship with him and to be in his kingdom. Pasian gup nai san ding le pasian to in ikizop na khan ding to pen pasiani inun tang na ngel na hi chi hong thei sak noming. So if you don't have anything in your head yet, you're good. In 2018, my pastor asked me to become a Sunday school teacher. I don't have kids yet, and I don't really like kids. I can be with kids for 1 hour, and then after that, it's just too much for me. But I say yes, not because I wanted to, but it's because and after working as Sunday school teacher for like about couple months, I discovered that I have a great passion for teaching and learning. I have so much joy in preparing my Sunday school lessons, different activities, discussions, and actually learning from my kids, because all those kids have so much knowledge and their critical thinking is a lot higher than we thought it was. So and I just found that it's so interesting and enjoying to be with kids and learn from them and grow together in Christ. So because I really enjoy being a Sunday school teacher, I take an intern job in a summer school and working with a lot of immigrant students like us. And that really helped me find my passions for teaching. So being an immigrant student myself, knowing that the impact that teachers could make beyond academic, I want to become one for myself. And so I got my bachelor in mathematics with education, and I got my teaching license for 7 to 12. Sometimes it is our human nature to think that, we always want that a map for God's plans for our life. And we want God to come and tell in our dream, nang register nurse here, nang doctor here, nang pastor here, youth pastor, right? We want something clear, a clear map. But that's not how God works. God works in the very unexpected way. Maybe by serving, you will discover your passion. Serving in your media team. We have a very dedicated media team, Utang. And Todan ma pasien na isep na sunga ipol pi ai kia mi khat ihu na to zong I passion pen pasien na hong musak themo. So I want to encourage all of you here to serve God and to serve every little things that you can do. And maybe you will discover your passions through that. And maybe that is how God gives you an opportunity to discover your passion. And I started my teaching, for my very first year teaching job in 2024. Oh man, that was not I thought it would be. I work in a very big school district, low income students. We have 85% majorities, not very rich school. I have to buy pencils out of my pocket, erasers, line paper, all that. And not just that, now Bangta Pen so behind, right? They don't know their multiple, they don't know their math facts, ali te hong en kol nga makilot nga mate mau lot nga vet loe. They don't know how to add, and I am in high school teaching algebra 1 and they don't know how to multiply. And I'm like, oh God, to fa bang ji ding. Now bang te la mate sang ma ma lai. Cái bên là tổng bên hay đen là sáng thêm phải ạ. And ตัว Bekilo อะไร not amount behind Bekilo in not behaviors, right? One of the most challenging of being a teacher is the behavior, managing a behaviors, right? Now bang te pen high school hilai, Thailand book hong a bang hong yim now say no high school no one I think. Is anybody here in high school? Right? If you go to public school, you probably be very familiar with what I'm talking about, right? ตัวนั้นของตำรวจ and I have like a culture shock. ตัวป้าที่เราบังเต้นนั่นละเต้นชาละเทโล and I have a student population บางอ่ะ only 5% coming to my class telling me that they enjoy math, and the rest of the 95% were like, I hate math. And I don't want to be here, and I don't care. And imagine trying to motivate those kids. And I was really mad. I was frustrated. I was in my classroom from 6:50 to 5, doing my lesson planning, calling parents, having meetings. And I just thought like maybe my lessons are not just engaging. I just need something different. And I was burned out in my first year. Cái hệ suộc đen hiểu mày. Khởi về chứ. In cái tôn trang bằng cả nú happy na tốt này khát sung cái bào bị because ấy là sáng bài na xe về này in nú té là mau về có mai chạy tôn trang hậu bị nóm loài but ấy là soon tiếng overstimulated ấy chạy in nú té kia. It's that's like the rules that I have with my mom, but I feel really guilty for that. But that's how I try to survive my first year. But God really humbled me quickly while I was being so frustrated. When I got to US and I was in 9th grade, I don't know what integers are. I was so behind in my learning. I don't know what integers are. I did not know that there are negative number exits. Did you all know that there are negative numbers? Right? I did not know that there are negative numbers when I was 15, 14. My parents never come to parents' conference because we don't have any car yet. They don't want to bother other people to give them a ride. And they don't speak any English. So, when I was having that. And he reminded me that Colossians 3, chapter 3, verse 23 to 24. Whatever you do, work at it with your heart as working for the Lord, not for the human master. Since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward, it is the Lord Christ you are serving. Mite na sem bangin kingai sun loin pasien na sem bangin kingai sunun la na se pe lung sim tak pito na sem un to pai no te tunga thaman hong piak ding lam tak thok gi ge un to bang in na se bu le khri to pa na sem na asem na hi u hi. This just remind me that our career, teaching job, being a nurse, those are just a place that we can serve the Lord out of all the many places. This is where we can let Jesus Christ shine through us. This really helps me reflect myself and ask myself back, what kind of teachers should I be? What kind of teachers I am? Am I just like any other teachers next door that's really frustrated at their kids for not knowing their math facts? That is where I have a big change in my perspective. And God reminded me that there is a child behind every bad grades, every misbehaviors, any curse what they said to me, right? All the F's. There is a child that God's really love, and that He would die, He would give His sons for. And today, if you are in 27, 25, you already have a job, and asking God, you're frustrated, you're asking God, is it really the right job for me? Is being registered nurse a right job? Is being a social worker? Is being a teacher? Being a delivery? Is this the right job? Instead, I want you to ask, what kind of delivery would I be? What kind of nurse should I be instead? A little quick cons and pro of being a teacher. What might be one of the reasons you might not want to become a teacher? I don't have candies, but you can raise your hands and please share. I would appreciate. Just popcorn style. If not, I'm gonna pick yes, Paul. Money, low payment, right? Go teacher, they're broke teachers. So if you wanna donate some, please help. Yes, we teachers don't get much money, right? That is one of the biggest reasons people might don't wanna become a teacher. What else? That you hate kids, you don't want to be around kids. Fair. Adults are worse. Umamang, could tell. Ulian te zong bai tuan ke ai nao bang te sang. Adang eh. Yeah, teaching by curriculum standards, right? That is really hard. That's what. In our Bangtela behind Mamaina, they have a very high standards, and you try to help them master it. That is true. A lot of frustration in that. Any other thoughts? No, Samsama he won't let no would ngay ding mo.
The kids being on different levels, so you have to try to teach based on their level.
Yes, kids are all different levels. I have one that are in like 11th grade, they are ready to do calculus, but I am here trying to teach them how to multiply, right? So it's trying to help them all together and master that. That is so true. Yes, Paul, another one? Yes, getting up early. Thank goodness, I'm glad you say that. Kay pen imut hai lo, imut pen nok sak chitaga no, masa no tora no mo na. Like, I love sleeping. Oh my God. Eat mut anom, eat mut pen nop sitakan mo may mata ko lam dang. Hina. Jing kay bang ka high school life pen jing sang ka ute nong khong den le. Tha ut lo lo ka siang ha ni rang chiang na ka se ba le pen jing sang tho bai lo na sem ding china. No, I have to get up at least at 5:30. And I would admit that I always have like at least 7 alarms. Kay ka thoma ka sangam nu thau ta ka khan nga ya ma nong khong phei jaw chidan khangin mo. That's true. So low pay jobs, students seems like have little respect for teachers, maybe one, right? Còn làm tất kỳ bằng lâu cái gì then. But they're not like Asian country. Kids are here have no respect. Chỉ đàn tập na workload. Teachers, we're not done after we teach. We have to prepare to work. We have to after work we have another work, right? Grading, all that, meetings, parents meeting, calling parents, lesson planning, and also emotional demands. Now bang te pen sang khong a asem ngai tampi belom ni na. Tolawa family challenges. A lot of kids that I serve has a lot of family problems. I have many kids that are homeless. They don't have dad or mom. Some of them have no place to be. They cannot afford pencil, pen, right? Or they don't afford like na din khong anay lo zong now pang tampi takom. Topada mental health. A lot of them are depressions, anxieties, drug addicts, and then a lot of trauma. Asangam te khong kitad, anule pa khomao maya tau to kikap sidan. Kebang kum ni sung kasa bakanao pang te chumin hong nu sieta tau to kikapa. So being able to zong tua na zong bek tham lo inao pang te zong tampi tak tua nom hina tua lan ting zong mo. That could be some of the bad side of teaching. But even though it's a very low paid job, there are many invaluable little moments that I cannot put a price on. I could see students grow from the beginning, from August and May. They have been grow so much because I teach Algebra 1, they are freshmen. August, first day, first week, I cannot let all my kids sit within 5 minutes. Minute nga sunga mau kwa ma zong na tu the leng zia hi mai mate. But may kha tak siang abang chi about aveka they master the expectation that I set, and they sit still in their seat. They have their pencil, they open their notes, they are ready to learn. Tua na leng zong, that's a big step, that's a big growth. You know, tua bek tham lawa. Growth, little growth, a test scoreของ OST test score จันแต่ของหมอ you know กันเอาบางแต่บาง they most of them told me directly that they don't have confidence in math. They don't enjoy math, but when their test score come, they cry and give me a heart, and that's like the most grade that they ever get in their math course. Or this is like the first time they enjoy doing math. Or they come randomly, they email me at 11:58 and they say, Miss Gum, I can finally do how to factor polynomials. And I say, okay, just, all right, I am still sleeping. Those little moments makes me tears. You know. Now bang te pen respect nei loi chi hanga zong pen to bang ma pa na inu le pai na hong hilin na mau nu le pa nei lo now bang tampi ta ko mai chianga. You get to teach them, you get to train them, and you can see the growth in it. You can train them how to be respectful, how to be accountable, and that is the best part of also being a teacher. And emotional demands, this is where you get to help your students not just to be learning your math, but also help them to be a good citizen. How a good citizen, a good person, to be a human. You know, that is your chance. This is where you make a difference. And as a teacher, you get to grow a lot, you get to learn. Teaching is always involving, and you involve with your kids, and you always grow with your kids. And if you ask all the Columbus people, my district is known as Amauyong Chidan. Why you work in this ghetto school district? But this is my answer. I always answer to them. Everyone deserves a great teacher. to pai na igen na khem pe chawang pek sak ta hen